Hello, welcome to Remember and Know How to Vote in New York City during COVID-19. This webinar is presented by the Community Church of New York, Unitarian Universalist Young Adult Group of 2019 to 2021. We've prepared a PDF with the key websites, phone numbers, and deadlines, and that can be found in the description of this video. Okay, let's dig in. All of the information you'll hear today is based on the vote.nyc and www.elections.ny.gov websites. This information is New York City specific, and if you live outside of New York City, you should contact your own Board of Elections by phone or find their website. The requirements and deadlines can be different, so make sure you're using the information for the area you are registered to vote in. Where we had questions, we asked representatives at 1-866-VOTE-NYC. You can call them and they'll help you too. This nonpartisan presentation is meant to summarize key points, but it's not exhaustive of the information available on the Board of Elections website. This information is current as of the date of this presentation, September 27th, 2020. Please honor any changes announced by your Board of Elections. So the first question you might have is, how do I check my voter registration status? You can check it online at www.nycvotersearch.com or by calling 1-866-868-3692. Make sure that all of your information is accurate and up to date. If you believe you're registered but receive no results on the website, ask by phone to verify your registration status. The website might say you are not registered when really you are. You can call them to double check. If you need to register to vote, you have lots of options. You can visit the website bolded in that bullet point and download a form. You can also get one from your post office, library, or most New York City government agencies. We do recommend that you call them in advance to make sure they have the form. If you want a form sent to you, please call 1-866-868-3692 to make a request. Or you can register in person at your local Board of Elections office. The deadline to return your application to register to vote is October 9th, 2020. It must be postmarked by October 9th and received by October 14th in order to be accepted. That's less than 2 weeks away. Here are some important dates for you to know. These are the deadlines, but especially this year, we encourage you to get things done as early as possible. Both voter registration applications and change of address forms must be received by October 14th, 2020. Mail-in ballot applications must be postmarked, faxed, or emailed by October 27th, 2020. Mail-in ballots must be postmarked by November 3rd, 2020, and received by November 10th, 2020. That's November 16th for military voter ballots. You can deliver your mail-in ballot in person to an early voting site between October 24th and November 1st. Call them to confirm in advance before you go. If you're delivering it in person, you must do so by 9 p.m. on November 3rd, 2020. If you do want to deliver your mail-in ballot in person to an early voting site, make sure to wear your mask. You must wear your mask to vote in person or to drop off the absentee ballot. Okay, next up. Can you vote by mail if your reason to do so is because of COVID? The answer is yes, you can. The terms mail-in ballot and absentee ballot are generally used interchangeably and refer to the same method of voting. If your Board of Elections consistently uses one term or the other, use the phrase they use when you talk with them. There are a few ways to request a mail-in ballot. You can call them at 1-866-868-3692. They'll send you an application, and you have to fill out the application and return it to receive your ballot. You can also request the application online at nycabsentee.com. You can fax them at 212-487-5349, or you can email applyforabsentee@boe.nyc. Again, the deadline to return your application to vote by mail is October 27th, or you can go to your local office and apply in person by November 2nd. Accessible absentee ballot applications are available for download at votes.nyc/page/absentee-voting. To indicate COVID-19 as the reason for requesting an absentee ballot, under the reason for requesting an absentee ballot, select temporary illness and write in COVID-19. That's the official guidance. Okay, moving on. So next, filling out your ballot. Use a pen with blue or black ink. The computers that scan and read the ballots can only see blue and black ink. Fill in the oval next to the candidate of your choice or to indicate your selection for a yes and no question. Be sure to fully fill in the oval so the computers will be able to scan and read your choices. They will not register an X or a check mark. Sign your ballot in blue or black ink. Sign your name the same way you would in the voter's log at your polling site. If you need to check how you signed previously, for example, with or without your middle initial, call 1-866-868-3692. Sign and date the outside of the included official return envelope in blue or black ink, and as always, follow all instructions on the ballot fully. If you have further questions, you can call 1-866-868-3692. I'm going to give you some deadlines again. So ballots can be delivered in person to the Board of Elections borough offices or polling sites on Election Day, November 3rd, before 9 p.m. We strongly recommend that you confirm that this is still the case for your location by calling 1-866-868-3692 or your borough office. Mail-in ballots can be sent by any USPS mailbox or USPS post office. They must be postmarked by November 3rd, 2020 and received by November 10th. That can be November 16th for military voter ballots. Ballot drop boxes might be available, but they're still in the planning stages as of this presentation. You can reach out to 1-866-868-3692 or your borough office to see if there will be any available in your area. We're sure you want to make your vote count. So here are a few things to remember. Ballots are counted or not counted based on the date of postmark and arrival, not by postmark date alone. If you're planning to mail your ballot, send it as soon as possible. If you can return it as soon as you get it, that's ideal. But if you find yourself cutting it close, be aware of your mailbox's pickup time. If you've missed that day's pickup, it will not be postmarked until after the following pickup. Mailbox pickup times and/or days may have been recently updated. If you're planning to mail your ballot from a post office or a post office's drop slot, find out in advance what time they close and/or stop postmarking for that day. The USPS states that they cannot guarantee that ballots mailed less than 15 days prior to the election, that's October 20th, will be delivered by the deadline. Given the extraordinary circumstances of this year, it's unclear whether even the standard 15-day window will be sufficient to ensure timely delivery. If you cannot safely drop off your ballot, mail it as soon as possible. If you believe your ballot will not arrive on time and are able to relatively safely attend a polling site, voting in person is still an option. According to the New York State Board of Elections webpage, you may vote in person even if you have mailed in an absentee ballot. Absentee ballots are checked against the polling site voter logs. If you have voted in person, your absentee ballot will not be counted. This will not be considered voting twice, since only one ballot will be tallied. How will you know if your ballot has been delivered? Ballots may be tracked online at the URL on your screen. One of these is nycabsentee.com/tracking. Again, these websites are also in the PDF in the description of this video. For the next 2 bullet points, I'll give you some visuals. You may track your ballot by confirmation code if one was printed on your ballot. The other way to do it is to track your ballot by your voter information on the same webpage by clicking on that option. You can see in the picture, the selected option turns blue. If tracking shows your ballot has not been counted, the site updates every 24 hours so you can check back the following day. Applications may take up to 72 hours from the time they are received to appear. Be sure you've entered your information exactly as it appears on your voter registration. Mail-in ballots are often tallied on or after Election Day. You must decide whether you are comfortable trusting that it will eventually be tallied or whether you would like to vote in person. For further information or advice, please call 1-866-VOTE-NYC or your local Board of Elections. So we've been giving you all kinds of phone numbers and links and lots of information. Here on this slide are the phone numbers for the Board of Elections in each borough of New York City. Again, there's a PDF for phone numbers, websites, deadlines, and key information posted in the description of this video. We'll go to the next slide. I also just wanted to mention that leading up to this webinar today, we've been sharing information about the history of voting rights in the U.S. You can see that in the Community Connections issue and on the Community Church of New York's Facebook page. You can also see that in the link in the description of this video. And next slide, please. This nonpartisan presentation has been intended to summarize key points, but is not exhaustive of the information available from the Board of Elections website. You can reach out to any of these links and numbers on your screen. However you plan to vote, please make sure you do it and do it early. Think about what your next step is, and then take it today or tomorrow, right after this presentation if you can.